Right, so today we're starting a brand new Big Ed saga.
Hi, babies.
Yep, Big Ed and Liz are back on TV for another whirlwind season. And with rumours of marriage, divorce, heartbreak and controversy, it sounds like we're in for the craziest one yet. So the last time we saw Ed and Liz, they were on the verge of breaking up once and for all. They jetted off to Isla Bella for 90 days the last resort, and despite having their fair share of ups and downs, they proposed to each other, and Liz committed to moving with Ed to his hometown of Bentonville, Arkansas. And so here we are.
I am engaged to Ed.
And what is your favorite sexual position?
Here we go. Pissy Liz already.
That's it, Liz. Just laugh the pain away. Bold of Ed to bring up sex again, by the way. When he did that back in the last resort, he got exposed for being small and having the stamina of a morbidly obese pug. Another thing I recall from last season is, at the end of it, Big Ed saying that he had learnt when to be serious, with Liz telling him how she hates the fact that he always has to turn everything into a joke. So 30 seconds into this season, and any hopes of a new mature Ed have been crushed already. Anyway, after 2 years of being engaged, Ed and Liz finally have a date set for the wedding.
In 2 months, we are getting married.
Holy shit.
That sounds about right.
A nice optimistic outlook. 2 months is not a long time, and I'm sure Ed knows it. They just haven't been stable for long enough for them to be able to commit the rest of their lives to each other. Having said that, 2 months is still plenty of time for Ed to mess things up, so I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see how it goes. Well, if their reaction to discussing the marriage wasn't enough to convince you, wait until you hear them talk about the time they first met.
I was in love with Liz since the day I met her.
I didn't like Ed when I met him, and now I'm marrying him.
Charming. Ed's stone cold face says it all. They're laughing, but it's so clearly masking underlying resentment. They've got that parents turning up to a function pretending they weren't just fighting and threatening divorce in the car type of vibes. I don't doubt that they've been fighting in between last season ending and this one beginning, but Liz seems to think that Ed has made some progress since the last resort.
The changes that I've made to be a better partner to you is what saved our relationship.
You have matured so much.
I mean, she says that, but he literally just dropped a sex joke out of nowhere whilst they were talking about their engagement. We get this at the start of every single season too. They talk about how Ed's changed and how they're at peace and all this sort of stuff. And then just a few episodes in and there are tears everywhere, they're yelling and they're threatening to break up with each other. It's just so repetitive and so unconvincing.
We're a beautiful hurricane, and now we're calm and the sun's coming out. I feel like I'm on solid ground right now.
It's not peaceful because the hurricane has passed, it's peaceful because they're in the eye of the storm. The solid foundation she's building on isn't rock, it's sand, and Ed is the rain. Every time it dries up, she rebuilds the house on the exact same spot, somehow forgetting that one day the rain is going to come and inevitably wash it away all over again.
Communication has definitely been much better, but Ed still loves to hear his own voice.
Hey, it's a beautiful voice.
Is it? It sounds like the voice a toad would make if you gave it partially human vocal cords and squeezed it like a dog toy. Also, this is another issue that Liz is being serious about that Ed is making a mockery of. He just can't help himself, can he? Anyway, now that they moved to a bigger house, Liz's 10-year-old daughter Riley is staying with them for the summer.
I think 1,000% having Riley together with Liz and I makes us stronger.
I really don't think, given how volatile things usually are between these two, that this is a particularly fit atmosphere for Riley to be living in, but hopefully it'll give them a reason to really make an effort to argue less, especially when the cameras aren't rolling. It's also a good thing for their relationship because they spend a lot more time doing wholesome things as a family. Tonight, for example, the three of them are making bracelets, and Ed seizes the opportunity to bond more with Riley.
I want to be your stepdad.
Okay.
Would you be okay with that?
Yeah.
Because I love you.
Not the first time he said this and been Ed, but at least he didn't get called ugly this time like he did with Rose.
I love you.
Pangit mo.
I love you.
Pangit mo.
Does that mean I love you? I hope it means I love you.
Well, apparently, Ed says all the time that he loves Riley, that he cares for her, and that he sees her as his daughter too. But Liz is worried that Ed likes to play the role of the fun uncle, rather than the stepfather who has responsibilities.
I'm really trusting Ed that he's up for the challenge, especially with Ed being 58 now. Putting a lot of faith in this.
It's a valid concern, to be fair. He's an older man with health problems, and taking on her 10-year-old isn't going to be easy. On top of having Riley, Ed's also struggling with keeping Liz happy in their new home and planning their wedding. He's got a lot on his plate, which is very stressful. And in the past, when they're stressed, they argue, and when they argue, they break up. Ed says that he feels a huge sense of accomplishment, but in the back of his mind, he's worried. He knows that it won't take a lot to derail the entire thing.
Are you finally ready to marry me?
I'm ready to settle down.
Avoiding the question like that is cold, and Liz isn't stupid, she clocked it. Again, it doesn't matter how long they've been engaged for, if he's not ready to get married, he needs to postpone the wedding. I know that there's a huge risk that doing so will lead to Liz walking away, but it's better to risk ending it now than getting into an unhappy marriage and going through another divorce.
And I've been through a divorce, Liz has been through 2, so it's not something that we want to do again.
Then don't rush into it. Just wait until you've had a year of peace to show yourselves it can work and then consider getting married. Well, like I said earlier, the upcoming marriage isn't the only thing troubling Ed. When they moved from San Diego, Liz gave up her partnership at Encontro, so now they're living off their savings. Their current financial plan is to pass their state boards and become realtors as quickly as possible. So today they're doing a house tour with a very special guest.
Is she represented? Does she have representation?
No, we need it.
Okay.
Well, hello.
Well, hello.
Honestly, thank goodness this is Riley. If this was a customer, I could not imagine it going well. Last time they tried working together, Ed brought Liz along to one of his photo shoots with a model, and they had a massive fallout when Liz dared question his methods. Trying to work side by side as equals with Big Ed's ego is just insanely risky. Anyway, although there's not a lot of drama, it does allow us to be a little bit nosy and have a peek around their new house.
Here is the, it's kind of an open plan format. We have our living room and our gourmet kitchen.
Annoyingly, we don't actually get a tour of the rest of the house. The only other details we're given is that it's a brand new 4-bed, 2-bath property with air conditioning and a backyard. If you're curious, I did a little online search and similar properties in the area are going for around $400,000. Well, as the tour comes to an end, they ask for feedback, and Riley says that Ed needs to let Liz speak more, and drops a little hint that she's already seen them struggling to get on at times.
Do you think Mommy and Ed are gonna get along in business together? Sometimes.
Liz's 10-year-old already having doubts about their compatibility is not the best sign, and she's no doubt factoring in things she's seen at home, not just in that role-playing exercise. Thankfully at least, Liz says that she's going to be taking on more of the admin work, whilst Ed takes on the role of the salesman. So hopefully the division of labour will keep them separate enough to avoid too much conflict. Them now working and living together is a recipe for disaster, but Ed says that he hasn't got much choice. With the wedding coming up, he needs a stable income fast.
I want to give Liz the best wedding possible, and I don't really want to tell her that we're underwater right now.
Well, that explains why he's been spamming his Cameo and merch links on his socials so much lately. On the topic of Shameless Plugs, you can check out my Cameo, merch, second channel, podcast and more in the links in the description or at my links website, which is arthur.tv/links. Anyway, as usual, we're off to a shaky start with the saga, with foundations laid for absolute disaster. And next time out, cracks begin to appear with Riley in the middle of it all.
Neither of us want to fight in front of Riley, but we still have issues.
You're pouting and you're ruining the event.
You stop being a brat because you're ruining it.
This is going to be an absolutely insane season, I just know it. I'm going to be doing weekly videos of every detail of every episode as they come out. So if you want to make sure you don't miss out, make sure you're subscribed down below. And of course, if you're watching a little bit later down the line, remember you can watch all these videos in order in the playlist in the description. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.